When workers would arrive, they would take their complaints and record them. So they started, it was through the church. They were first working through the church. And around 2002, they began the center there. Realizing that someone had to do something. There was such a great incidence of cases, and no one was doing anything. And it's known to be a very violent region in that area, and so they needed to do something. So they started the center, and workers would come in and make complaints. So that's after he started working with the center. Then that's when all the threats started happening, coming from the big ranch holders. So they said that it would be telephone calls. Also, they would come around to their house, and they couldn't even leave because they would break down the door or and rob them. Their neighbors would talk and say, "Oh, they're threatening to, the neighbors knew, just kind of like they're gonna kill you, or if not you, then your wife, your family, and so they would hear it from other people that they were being threatened. Whoever would talk to their neighbors, and so knowing that they would hear that as well. Frightened about what had happened. They'd be very scared to even talk because at the farm they were threatened with their life, if anyone found out, if they escaped, if they complained to anyone, made a formal complaint, if the ranch holder found out, he would kill them. And it did happen sometimes. So they would come and they'd escape, and I asked how did they get to the office, and he said either they'd get a hitchhike somehow to the place or walk. And what they would do for them is calm them down, and so that they would be able to talk, and then they'd write out a formal complaint. How are the conditions there? Where did you come from? All of the information they needed, and then they would take this information to the regional workers place, and then they would handle the situation from there. There's a guy that they're talking about that was able to. Some ranch holders are able to get out of that blacklist. They're put on it, and they're able to get off of it because they pay a certain amount. And I said, well, that means that they can just buy their way out of it. And he said, well, basically because of corruption. Yes, you can. Continue to do what they're doing. They have to continue to fight. It's because it's how they think. It's already in their head what they believe. And they know that in Ananas there is no justice. It doesn't exist. There aren't laws that will protect them. And they know that they're risking the lives of their children by doing this, but it's what they believe, so they have to continue in there. So their lives are in the hands of God. They left. The reason they left was not out of fear of anything. It was mainly to prevent their children from being at risk. He said if it was just he and his wife, they would have stayed there. But because they have children, they need to protect them. And it's a violent area, but they want to continue what they're doing because so many people are at risk, and our workers are threatened, and it's just like his wife said, they just have to continue to do what they're doing because there's no justice. No one's going to be punished for it, so they feel that this is their calling. He said they would love to go back, but they have to be careful right now, and they would have really liked to have gone with us yesterday, but they know that it would have been a risk for themselves and for us because they would have liked to have shown us the realities and been able to show us what their lives were like more. But they know that people are very organized there and are always watching, and so it was better that they didn't go because it would have been both a risk for them and for us. Like the people there, they said, would have thought that we were trying to, them being with us would have been them trying to provoke some action or testing the waters out.